Here's 9 ways to do news writing the right way. And news websites are such an underrated way to get traffic. And the reason for that is because you can rank on both the search engine as well as on Google News. So you're basically double dipping 2 huge channels of audiences. Also, Google News equals push notifications. I don't know about you, but I get a lot of Google News push notifications on my phone. So if you have some engaged readers, chances are that if you keep them engaged, Google will notify them when you push out a new article, which means you have a channel to get a lot of automated, dedicated readers where they don't have to sign up for an email or take extra friction to stay engaged with your website. And the other thing is, I recently binged Alex Hormozi's leads training, and one of the things that he says is that one of the most important pieces of content is the hook or headline, and one of the most effective headline is headlines that relate to recency, quite literally the news. And guess what? If you have a news website, literally every single headline is relevant and recent. Let's start. One, you want relevant content, which basically means you want to SEO optimize your article. And how do you do this? Because there's so many big companies that's already ranking for these sort of topics that there's kind of no way for you to get ahead. So what I suggest you do is you go to a long tail keyword. So instead of artificial intelligence, you might do something like artificial intelligence advancements in healthcare specifically, targeting down a niche. And now you can see that instead of Forbes and things like that, you're sort of competing against much smaller websites. And if you've no idea what niches to target, simply use ChatGPT or Playground on OpenAI and ask for ideas. And if you don't know where to find it, it'll be in the description below. 2, Geographic Focus, which basically means that if you're writing news for the UK, you want to use British English and use British terms. And if you're writing, for example, for a specific city, London, then you want to write about Londony things. Now, if your news is geographically independent, then you can basically ignore this. 3, Prominence, which is saying that the Google's news algorithm takes into account if news sources are featured prominently on your website, because if you're a news publication, obviously the most recent things are going to be on your homepage. So put the things you want to rank for on your homepage and feature it prominently. And if your news article has original reporting. And original reporting, you don't need to care about it that much because this is just basically saying that they do original reporting by having 10,000 manual raters around the world to modify their AI weight. So it's not really that you're publishing an original piece of work, it's just that does it sound like news that people will want to read. Before we go on, let's talk about real quick how to actually get on Google News. And all you have to do is go to the Publisher Center here. The link is in the description and you can use it in 2 ways. You can list yourself on Google News or you can use Reader Revenue Manager, which is basically Google's way of allowing you to have paid subscriptions. Anyway, let's move on. Authority, and authority is going to be based off of search raters, which we already looked at. These are people that manually rate articles and to see if they're newsworthy. You can simply mimic the styles of things that Google News is already featuring, because if they're already featuring a corpus of articles and you mimic that exact style and the way that they report the news, then obviously the AI, which is tuned by these search raters, will very likely recommend your articles as well. They also say in their documentation that the search raters don't necessarily have an impact on the articles that they vote on themselves. So the recommender system for the news articles is just going to be tuned over time by these manual votes. And the other thing you can do for authority is obviously backlinks. So I highly encourage, if you are a news publisher, that you should reach out to other publications for backlinks and exchange and trade backlinks. And backlinks are super important for any type of blog website, not just news writing. So you should definitely do that. 5, Freshness. Keep your news new. You want to be able to keep writing fresh and new articles, whether it's a day-to-day cadence, week-by-week cadence. Always make sure that you keep information fresh and new and up to the latest happenings, because obviously the algorithm is going to recommend things that are new for news and not stale old articles from last month or last year. 6, make sure your site is very usable and fast. Making sure that it is correctly rendered on all browsers, whether it's mobile or desktop or tablets. All you need to do if you're using WordPress is use a best practice sort of a theme, such as cadence, and you can use WordPress plugins like WP Rocket or any other WordPress speed optimizers that you can Google. And if you don't want to use an expensive speed optimizer, you can also go cheaper and use a free tool like ShortPixel or other free image compressors. If you compress those pictures, the load time is going to be a lot faster. But it doesn't need to be super complicated. You don't need a $1,000 audit or anything like that. You just need to download the conventionally used plugins to help your website. No need to reinvent the wheel or get fancier. 7. Personalized content. Keep in mind that the news recommendation engine is simply just AI, and like personalized ads, they show personalized news. Just be cognizant of who your audience is, and you can do this in great detail with Google Analytics. Track, things that are doing well, which articles are doing well, and double down. Either way, I know this is a lot of work, but the reward's worth it. And I know because I've seen succession. If you want to shortcut the news writing work, I made an AI software that'll do research for you on the latest news and write articles for you in just a few clicks. There's a free trial of 3 articles right now, and I would love some feedback from you guys. You don't have to use it to write news articles, but it can make each article take minutes instead of hours. Anyway, back to the last 2 points, which are probably the most important. 8, don't try to game Google's algorithm by using things like misleading use of keywords like every other SEO guru out there, or doing clickbait things and things. These algorithms are going to be more and more strict, I feel like, especially with the advent of AI. So while you're tempted to take shortcuts, let me just remind you that the potential above average readership for a single article is not worth the massive downside of losing your entire website and everything that you've worked for. Finally, transparency. Always give credit to your external sources and talk about the review process and make that clear to your users if possible. This can help build trust with your website, and trust in turns build dedicated readers. Dedicated readers tells Google that your website is good. More traffic will come, and you can turn those into more dedicated users by building more and more trust, which in turns creates more traffic and so on and so forth, and then you become Logan Roy. If you found this helpful, be sure to smash the like button for the algorithm and subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to rewrite your news articles to be clickbait.